Welcome to Two Bitches and a Broom podcast. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode. Kind of like a Halloween special-ish October thing. We're going to talk about things that go bump in the nights. Are you haunted? Am I haunted? We're all haunted. So we're going to get into, especially with it being October, the closer that we get to Halloween, and everybody starts talking about spooky stuff. And, it's always kind of like amps up, right? Because everyone's like, the veil is thinning. The veil is thinning, and people are doing a lot of shit on top of that. So that adds to it. So let's talk about it. How do you know if you are experiencing true spiritual phenomena?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I think
What do you think?
there, when it comes to like identifying a true haunting, there are several signs that can indicate, that there is this presence. So I
Mm-hmm,
thought that
mm-hmm.
we could maybe go over what those common
Yes.
indicators are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the first one for me is unexplained noises, right?
Yes.
So if you're having, and I mean frequent, I'm not talking about, "Oh, I heard something and you don't hear something for a week." Okay. So frequent
Mm-hmm.
sounds like
Mm-hmm.
footsteps,
Mm-hmm.
knocking, whispers, all of those can suggest that there's a presence. So pay attention to when and where those noises occur. Is it only
Mm-hmm.
happening in the daytime? Is it happening at nighttime? Is it happening only when specific people are present? You know what I mean? Like pay
Right,
attention to
right.
all of those things.
Yeah. And I think maybe I should throw this little tidbit of a disclaimer out there. And I feel like I'm confident that I can speak on behalf of the both of us that we are not those type of practitioners that are like the minute something goes uh oogie boogie for one time, we're like, oh yep, you have a problem, you're haunted. We
Right.
are of the mindset of, and I tell this to even clients and consulting in anything, of doing your due diligence first, right? Try to debunk it as much as possible before you jump to, is this truly a spiritual experience or a haunting or a presence, I'll say, because
Sure.
a presence doesn't mean negative
Right.
um, all the time. So I just want to throw that out there. So you're going to hear us talking about ways to know, but this also comes with, like Charli just said, keep track of that stuff. Kind of, just because it happens one time doesn't mean that you jump to the conclusion of it is a legitimate experience like that.
Right.
So just
Totally.
throwing that out there. Yeah.
Yeah. The second one would be which people typically label it as cold spots. Um, but I would rather define it as a drop in temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But also a drop in temperature felt in very specific areas of a room.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you're in a room and you walk by a door and it's cold, it's probably a draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or by a window. But if you're in a room that it's not drafty and it's specifically cold next to, maybe you have pictures, right? And it's cold there, that's a perfect sign,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing, you use good discernment. There's nothing that's causing the draft. No doors or windows are open. There's no fans or anything on that would be causing that. And it's warm or, a neutral temperature everywhere
Mm-hmm.
else except for in that spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes. I feel like one of the things too for me with that in determining a presence also includes if things are going missing or
Yes,
moving.
that was on my list too. Yeah. Yeah.
If you are experiencing items going missing or moving spots, and that could absolutely indicate a presence in your home of experiencing. So, and I know, and I feel like this is the one that I hear a lot of people say, I know I'm not crazy. I know
Yeah.
I had my keys here and I walk out and come back in or something like that, and it ends up here.
Yeah.
Or I know I had this item and I cannot for the life of me find it. I know, that's
Yeah.
the one little one that I think a lot of people
Overlook.
overlook. And then when they're figuring it out, they're like, I know I'm not imagining this. I know I'm not nuts.
Yeah. I know that this is real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if something disappears and it seems to relocate or it just vanishes without explanation,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a sign as well.
Yes.
Um, I think the most profound one that is across the board of any substantiated um, presence of energy is that all occupants will have a feeling of being watched. This
Mm-hmm.
persistent sensation that somebody is observing you, even when you're alone, and it causes you to feel unsettled. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a really good sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really
There's a
good sign.
difference. There's a difference between having like the chills, right? Like the tingles that we get, or any practitioner or anyone open to spirituality or metaphysics have experienced. I think that's a general consensus. There's a difference between those kind of tingles
Yeah,
to like the hair rising up on the back of your neck, your arms, like that spiky tingle. I feel like that accompanies usually when people talk about the feeling of being watched or a presence in the home or the space
sure. Yeah.
that people have. Mm-hmm.
Um, I also think strange odors that are unexplainable. And that can be anything from having like a floral scent all the way to having a really nasty smell you can't really put your hand on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like this smells, some people refer to the smell as smelling like sulfur.
Yeah.
Some people smell it like it smells like rotting garbage. So it's up to you. Everybody smells things differently, right?
Yeah.
But it will appear suddenly and vanish just as quickly. So you may smell it in 1 second and be gone the next.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a pretty good indication.
Yes.
Um, so
Mm.
I, I,
Uh, uh-huh.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna say another one that popped in my head too is unexplained wet spots. Um,
Yeah,
and again, no leaks, not an area where it would find. That is definitely something probably going on
yeah,
in
yeah.
in the home. Uh,
Same thing. Is it near the bathroom?
mhm.
Is there, any place the kids could have dropped water? Is it anything?
Yes.
Use good discernment. If you're like, there's absolutely no way this appeared,
Yeah.
that's an excellent sign there's something going on.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
But use really good common sense, you know? So if you're hearing a rattling noise, where is it coming from? What area is it? I specifically remember doing a clearing for this lady. She had, just a ton of things that she was experiencing. And it was literally a piece of paper that was caught in her vent register. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
we have to use good discernment. Um, and I've always said this, I think it's ironic that I'm in this field because I'm the first one to say, okay, let's prove it. So the first thing I do is use those real world explanations. And if I can discount them, then we can move on to the probability,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
That's, I feel like, and think about it too this way. When you are experiencing something, I mean, what does the mind automatically start doing? It's why, like the case you just talked about, you're taking it and running with it. So if we remember, like attracts like, so if you immediately are jumping
mhm.
to, oh, this is, um, what do you think that's going to do to your frequency and the energy of your home and where your thoughts are automatically going? Um,
Yeah.
it's in my brain, it's like an open invitation just to be like, hey, come hang with me.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want, right? So absolutely don't let yourself, even if you are having these experiences or you're realizing, hey, I've had this, take a step. I like to call it the breath of assessment. Like, take a step back, take your breath, calm yourself down, and then just do like, let your analytical mind step in and just check all these boxes,
Right.
first, because it keeps your imagination and it keeps the fears from going out of control and it running you versus you commanding your mind. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So keep that in mind.
I agree.
Hmm.
Um, I also think that changes in behavior is a pretty significant one.
Yeah.
Um, if you or other people in your household are experiencing mood swings or anxiety or feelings of dread that seem completely out of character, that's also a sign. But with that said, please keep in mind we are living the human experience, and our family members, partners, coworkers, bosses can piss us off and cause us to have a mood swing. You know,
Yes.
we could have anxiety just because we are living the fucking human experience. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So make sure you take that into account, because am I having this mood swing when I have absolutely no reason to? Am I having anxiety when I have nothing but a pretty even keel normal approach to things? Is
Hmm.
this out of character for me?
Right. Right.
You know, so if you're a person who's been experiencing anxiety for a long period of time, most likely that's just a part of your character, right?
Hmm.
I'm talking about it happening when you're not used to experiencing that with no reason outwardly or otherwise for it.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to add on to what you're saying also, and kind of couple it together with unsettling sleep and
Yeah.
dreams. I found just in my experience of cases, this also is an indicator of a presence when you have been having trouble sleeping because you just can't, again, going like circling back to feeling a presence, like just being watched over, you can't settle yourself down enough to sleep.
Yeah.
And I've noticed those sensitive to energy who are vivid dreamers tend to also start having unsettling dreams and experiences in the subconscious.
Mhm.
Um, Also, keeping in mind with that, that could, if you were a vivid dreamer, and you are working through parts of shadow and things like that too. It can show up in the subconscious in the dream state, what you're going through in the walking state. So just grain of salt, but that is, I've noticed that that is a typical indicator too when doing assessments on presence or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I think by recognizing all of the signs that we just kind of discussed, that's just the first step,
Mm-hmm.
okay, in understanding whether you may be experiencing, um, what everybody labels as a haunting, right?
Right.
What I refer to as an energetic presence. I think it's essential to approach the situation with a beautiful blend of curiosity and caution, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So if you suspect that you may be experiencing this, I would like to give some suggestions that will
Yes.
um, kind of help you out with this, something you can do. I don't know if all of our viewers know this. I know we've talked about it in the past, but Krys and I handle what we refer to as heavy energy cases. And that would be house clearings, what people perceive as hauntings, attachments, things of that nature. Okay. So, personally, I've done this for a long time. I think Krys has done this a long time as well. So, um, I really feel super comfortable saying that you can take the information on good authority. Very good authority. Um, and there may be a point where you need a specialist, but I would like to take the opportunity to give you some information that could assist you in bypassing that, catching it quick enough to where you don't need us, uh,
Mm-hmm.
or to at least give you the information that will make you more knowledgeable and comfortable in what happens next, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think the first one is document everything, everything. Everything. Keep a journal of any unusual occurrences, dates, times, pictures, audio recordings. Those are all wonderful. You want to
Yes.
help identify any patterns or any triggers of events
Mm-hmm.
because that's so helpful for us. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because if you do end up calling in the cavalry,
Mhm.
either, like what we do, that's the first thing that we're gonna start asking in our own assessment is, you know, how, when, where, how often, who, all of the things, because it's just part of our process of handling these types of cases. So that is helpful in you assessing for yourself, but also if you do end up reaching out for assistance, it's going to be helpful for the practitioner that comes in to have that information on hand. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree 1,000%.
Uh, I think the second one is something that you can do too, and that's just finding out historical context of where you're at. Research the history of your home, its location, understanding its past can provide insight into anything that may currently be present, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you have to be on some Indian burial ground, okay? So that's Hollywood.
Right.
I have personally worked on a case where this woman was living in her home for 35 years and she had this happen completely out of the blue. And it was like a whirlwind. It just was like somebody turned on, um, just turned the dial on, and all of these, supernatural events started taking place. And after, going through our usual intake and being in the home for, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes, there was the deceased previous homeowner in the house who lived very amicably with this family, unnoticeably with this family, until she wanted to remove the paper, the wallpaper that was in one of the rooms,
Mm-hmm.
um, because they wanted to redo it. And that's what it was all over. So there was nothing horrible or awful or anything, but it's amazing what spirits will do to kind of get your attention. They were like, leave
Yeah.
the fuck alone. I put that up there. That was extremely important to me. That was an homage to my child, which it was kind of a really sad story because the child that they had decorated this room for didn't survive, and it's a whole
Mm,
thing. So there was a lot of um,
yeah.
emotional attachment to it. Obviously, the spirit was earthbound, but it will help you understand. It helped the homeowner understand why this happened.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
helped. I think it was a really wonderful opportunity to help her understand not all these, energies are evil and maniacal and devilish and
Yeah.
everything
Well,
people
it's
perceive.
like Hollywoodized, right?
Yeah.
Anytime that you think so, I had a similar case where it was a couple that just moved into a home and were experiencing things happening in the home. And it turns out it wasn't earthbound. And when they bought the house, if I remember this correctly, when they bought the house, it was like there was some work that was done on it, and come to find out, the previous owner who did the work passed away, earthbound, and was the culprit behind all of the happenings because he's attached to his all the hard work he put into it, and new people were moving in, and there was a fear of um, I don't think they wanted to remodel again and do things, but I think a fear of changing what he worked so hard to do in the home, because he was really attached to the home. So it turns out, earthbound spirit, and was just afraid of what new people were going to do to his hard work. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I remember that right. I don't think they wanted to do anything extra, but they were just strangers moving into
Yeah.
his hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, we've done episodes on the past with uh, earthbound spirits. And,
Mm-hmm.
for our viewers, if you're unfamiliar, um, I'll post somewhere here.
Right.
I'll post that episode number so you'll know which one to view to help you understand
Mm-hmm.
that a little bit better. But I mean, it does happen. Is it super common? No. But does it happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's no reason for you to think that uh something horrible, evil, maniacal is going to take place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next thing that I recommend is it's pretty easy, actually, believe it or not. And it's creating a peaceful environment. Sometimes simply acknowledging that presence and setting a very calm atmosphere can alleviate any tension, and it will encourage positive energy into your space. That's what it will do. I know that
Mm-hmm.
sounds like completely the opposite, but we have to keep in mind we are magnetic beings, right? So if we're scared shitless, what do you think the universe is going to do? Oh, she likes to be scared. Send her more reasons to be scared, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I say it
Uh,
all the time. The universe does not speak in between your lines. It is literally the what you're emitting out is what you will receive back. And that's hard for some people to hear, but it is what it is. So yeah, I agree. Changing you taking hold and changing the vibration of your home, creating that peaceful environment, I think that's excellent. And that also invites more of that peaceful light energy.
Yeah,
And if it is a lower vibrational presence, they're not going to want to hang around because it's
right,
not fun anymore.
right. Exactly.
It's not fun
Exactly.
anymore.
We'll be right back after this short break. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, finding time for spiritual growth can be challenging. But what if there was a way to reconnect with your inner self, to find peace and clarity amidst the chaos? Introducing the Shamanic Path, your guide to spiritual development and inner peace. At the Shamanic Path, we offer a range of online courses designed to nurture your spirit and elevate your consciousness. For those just beginning their spiritual quest, to the advanced practitioners looking to expand, we are here to support you on your journey every step of the way. Discover the power of your intuition, the beauty that comes with connecting, and the joy of self-discovery. Embrace the journey to a more enlightened, balanced, and fulfilled life. Take that first step today. Visit theshamanicpaths.com and begin your journey.
Exactly. If you know that particular energy, if it's becoming pronounced or it's there, and it's attached to that home, that's very far and few between. I'm going to be honest with you, very far and few between. But it's very common for earthbounds to be attracted to human beings and invade their space, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty common. That's pretty
Yeah.
common. So that's different. They're not going to be attached to your physical space. When they get bored with you, they're going to keep moving, you know? So in
Mm-hmm.
order to get bored with you, you have to no longer feed your energy to them. And by doing that is by embracing higher energy. So you have a higher vibration and you're no longer an energetic match for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be repelled by you. And that's what we want, right?
Right.
That's what we want.
We want to be repulsive in the best way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
So, I mean, it could be as simple as, you putting on positive music, right? Something positive, um, and not necessarily does it have to be meditation music, but something with a good frequency, a higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
It could be lighting incense. It could be opening all the windows in your house and letting come some of that stagnant energy out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Things of that nature, that they're little tiny tweaks that you can do that will be wonderful. There's one thing that I recommend for anybody, whether you're experiencing this or not, but if you just want to like change and shift the energy into your home, get a pot, fill it with water, add some salt to it, add some cinnamon sticks to it, or even cinnamon, ground cinnamon. Take an orange, slice it up, take a lemon, slice it up, throw that in there. If you have rosemary, you can throw that in there too, and let it
Mm-hmm.
burn. Let it burn, because you're really elevating the energy of your home. All of those have such a beautiful energy. Um, it's going to release any of the stagnancy. So that's something quick and easy,
Yeah.
that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But, recognizing the signs, of having a possible energetic presence, it actually requires pretty careful observation and a pretty open mind, you know, whether you choose to investigate that further or to simply coexist with the unknown. Um, Hopefully these, signposts that we've given you can help you navigate those experiences more effectively.
Hmm.
In the off chance that you feel like I can't deal with this, absolutely consult with a professional. If
Yes.
your experience is becoming overwhelming, if it's harming your mental health in any way, consider reaching out to paranormal investigators, metaphysicians who can provide guidance or conduct an investigation. I also recommend that you look up their experience, how much they've
Yes.
had. Because anybody who's been in this line of work, you're going to be able to look them up and see their past. You should be able to Google that name and come up with stuff. So that's what I
Yeah.
recommend,
And I think too, interviewing the person that you're going to work with
Yeah.
is also a good thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Ask them,
Hmm.
do they have experience in this? And kind of get a feel, trust your intuition, trust your gut when you are speaking with anybody you reach out to as a practitioner for assistance with whatever is going on with you. I kind of take it in the same notation as uh, when I talk about, like Western therapy too. Are you feeling productive? Are you feeling empowered? Are they feeding the fear? Stuff like that. So don't be afraid to ask questions if you do reach out for assistance from a metaphysical practitioner for whatever it is that you're experiencing. You know, I don't know I'm sure Charli is the same too, but I'm perfectly okay with answering questions of experience and, as I feel like anyone should be okay with doing. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You have to feel aligned with the person that you're going to work with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just mixing shit with shit.
Yeah.
And,
I do want to recognize that when things like this are happening, you know, I feel like you have a very narrow opportunity to take control. And
yes.
you know what I mean? That take control of your own sovereignty and evict that imposing spirit. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like this is just beyond you, that's cool. Don't be afraid. Like Krys said, don't be afraid to interview them, sit down, see if you guys click, see if you feel like you're in good, capable hands. That's an excellent way to approach this. But just pay attention to the signs, pay attention to your feelings, your physical sensations. Um, I also think it's pretty common that people experience like fatigue,
Mm-hmm.
irritability, stuff like that. So, if you're experiencing that, you're just like, man, I can't deal with this. That's super common. You're not alone in that. That's what most people feel when they're experiencing this,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm gonna give you my little spiel, okay, in order to assist you if this has happened. The very first thing, you're gonna state your intention to protect your space. So no, we're not going to act like people, not mentioning any names, but we're not going to act like those people who are like, show me your face, give me your name, because that's stupid. Okay. It's just, you're going to look silly. Um, you can clearly set your intention to protect your space, and you can do that just by verbalizing your desire to reclaim your space. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This is my home. You are not welcome here. You need to leave. You don't have to yell. You don't have to slam things. You don't have to do anything. But that's cool. You can create boundaries, like visualize yourself having this beautiful protective barrier around yourself with white, bright light enveloping you, shielding you. Make sure that you're grounded, make sure that you're grounded when you're going through this process. I think that's super important too. I hope if you are watching this that you are already familiar with cleansing rituals, but if not, incorporate those into your practice. Cleanse your space. If you're burning sage or using essential oils or sound healing, singing bowls, chimes, you know, those practices will help you purify your environment. And most importantly, seek support. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out to people of like mind, okay?
Yes.
That are friends or family or professionals who can support you, if nothing more than to be a shoulder for you. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's super important. And don't be afraid to practice that self-care, right? Prioritize yourself, nurture your own well-being during this process because you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong, you know? And
Yeah.
I think like people that are, proactive with these steps, I think you can effectively reclaim your energetic space, at a
Mm-hmm.
minimum, we have to cultivate a harmonious environment that we can thrive in without
Right.
interference. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I think for the both of us, we are all about empowerment. So if you think about it this way, like I tell some people who contact for such like things, that is, I want you to find your own inner tiger and your
Mhm.
own power because that is your space regardless of what has transpired or what's going on. And it really, would you be okay with just leaving your door open? I've told somebody this. Would you be okay with just leaving your door open and just letting any Joe Schmo walk in your front door and peruse
Yeah.
around, touch your things,
Yeah.
go into your personal belongings and stifle around and look around? No. So it's the same with energy.
Mhm.
If you're not okay with letting your door open and just letting people come in and out as they go, why would you be okay with that on the energetic side? So, same thing. And at the end of the day, we can come in and absolutely handle the thing, do the thing, and all of that stuff. That's no problem. But once we leave, it's going to be up to you to maintain it. And if you are not in your space, like Charli just said, cultivating your own, nurturing your own self care, nurturing your own space, your own body, physical, mental, emotional, all that stuff,
Mhm.
anybody can come in time over time and clean the slate, clean the slate, clean the
Right.
slate. But if you are not cultivating your own foundation, all you're going to do is just have to keep it's like a repeated cycle. So I
Yeah.
think that's why we are dead set on empowerment because I want you to feel your own power so you can, as soon as anything goes, oh, yeah, something might be amiss or something might be off, absolutely not. And
Right.
start shifting it immediately.
Right. No, I
So,
completely agree with you. I do
mm-hmm,
completely agree with you. We have, I think, we have an opportunity to either succumb to our fear or step into our power. and I'm a nerd, so I always believe knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe with knowledge, it can calm a lot of fears. So,
Yeah.
this is an opportunity for you to gain some knowledge, gain some power. And if in fact you are ever approached with this, then you have an opportunity to say, okay, I know exactly what I need to do.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So we hope that you hear this or you're listening to this and if you are having these experiences or, it's all, even if you're not, this is all still good knowledge just to keep in your container, keep in your reservoir for whatever. But
You're like, for
it's
whatever.
for whatever, I'm a, I just love collecting facts.
Yeah.
of, of any kind. I just, the world is interesting. So
Yeah.
I just love to collect a lot of interesting facts,
Yeah.
but it's also, again, I just want to reiterate the point Charlie made earlier too. It's also okay if you are not finding yourself in a position to at that time. So not bashing anybody because you can't step into your power and
Yeah.
roar
For sure.
yourself. No, but if you do need the assistance, absolutely 1,000 fucking% reach out. Um, while you are, I like to put this in the same way we work on, at least with my clients and students, while we work on shadow and stuff, I am acknowledging and learning my worth. I am understanding my power
Yeah.
versus coming in, I am powerful. And then you're like, oh, but I'm not, you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't feel so powerful. So it's okay. Either way, it's okay. But yeah, I think this is a good topic to talk about right now, especially in October and all of the goings ons. And I like I would like to throw a little tip in there as well when you are reclaiming your power, just because I've had some people do this, where they will um, have experiences happening and then light a candle. And instead of saying, this is my space, I own it, they say other words that
Mhm.
don't match that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and then end up with more of a problem. I've had that happen before, uh, where someone lit a candle and basically went in and been like, I mean, if you're okay, I guess you can stay. And I was like, and it just amped everything up. So
Yeah.
I've had experience in a case like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
that is not what we talked about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now,
yeah.
if whoever's watching this and you were to connect with me and I was to go to your space and ultimately find that you did have a presence there, I will absolutely encourage you to evict that presence. It is not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't good for your energetic body. It will slowly drain you. Um,
Right.
Earthbounds,
Yes.
the only way that they can communicate with this realm is through human energy. And you, my friend, will be their personal battery.
We'll be right back after this short break.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't mean that the earthbounds are, horrible, awful spirits. And some of them have just horrible, awful stories of why they're still present. Um, so I'm not saying that they're evil or maniacal,
Right,
but it's
right.
not good for humans.
Exactly.
It's not good for humans.
I just because I've had cases like that cross my desk where I've had to come in and redirect and fix and all of that stuff because they've done that.
Mhm.
The point is earthbound energy, lower vibrational energy, doesn't matter of the sort, is not going to be healthy for you energetically to keep around. Even if it was sweet old little old sweet little earthbound lady, still not okay. Still
Yeah,
not okay.
it's not.
And yeah, it's
It's
not. You have only so much of your own lifespan, and you're really just giving it away to sustain somebody else that's not even here.
I would
So
ask the person that you're interviewing or that you would like to hire to, assist you with the process of removal or investigation and ask them point blank, can you cross over earthbound souls? If
oh
their
yeah, that's a good
answer
point.
is no, or they hesitate or they contemplate, do not hire them.
Right, right.
Not
Yeah. Excellent
because
point.
what can happen, I just feel compelled to say this
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
Yeah.
kind of dragging this out, but I want to make sure people understand this point is like you can hire someone and they can detach that earthbound from you, but it can just literally go to another family member. They can't even remove it from the home, but then it's going to go next door down the street. And it's just somebody else's problem. And I have a problem with that.
Yes.
I have a problem with that because it's just going to keep doing that and bouncing around and bouncing around and bouncing around when it's so much easier to just cross them over where, everybody is happy. Everybody is where they need to be. We all have homes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
this is the human realm. So
Yeah.
I, you know, that's my recommendation. Sorry, I know
Oh no, you're
I
good.
just felt
I
like
think,
this is
you
a
know,
golden opportunity for people to maybe understand a little bit more.
yeah, I think that's why we're shaman. It's,
Yeah,
I I just can't subscribe to allowing another like other energies of any sort, energies, entities, doesn't matter, to just be removed off this one, and then it's just going to go find something else to host
yeah,
off of.
yeah,
And it can very well be the case that that said energy or entity, whatever, is removed from you, but the moment your life starts to kind of go through some rough waters again, your frequency comes down. Doesn't mean that that's
yeah,
not saying that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is it's still here and it
yeah,
doesn't belong here.
exactly.
So
If you
yeah.
believe in the chakra system, it's founded in the Tibetan practice, right? And according to that Tibetan practice, they say our energy is chi, right? And
Hmm.
the less that determines your lifespan. Like
Exactly.
I'm just
Yep.
gonna cut through the crap. That's what it
Yeah.
does. It determines your lifespan. So every time that somebody takes your chi, just think, how many days is that? Weeks is that? Is that a year's worth? I mean, do you
Hmm.
want to be sharing that with an earthbound? Like, I
Right.
just want the people to really understand. And I have a problem when practitioners kind of hide that or they don't discuss
Right.
it
Right.
or
Hmm.
because I get it, you don't want to scare people, that's cool, but can we inform them? Can we do it in a
Right.
way that empowers them instead of
Exactly.
living in ignorance? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's, again, it's a tool of empowerment. I've even related it to someone once, uh, as like you're going scuba diving into the ocean. You have one oxygen tank. You're allowing these energies because it was just a case and a client that just was still welcoming a bunch of stuff. So you have a case, you have one scuba tank. That's it. That's all you get, right? And if you are continuing to entertain the presence of all of these energies, they have to feed off of your scuba tank, but
Mhm.
that's yours. So There is no refill. There is no like, I'll grab another one. That's it. You get one shot, one and done.
Hmm.
So, are you still okay with sharing your oxygen tank? And it's going to shorten your experience in that way. And that person was like, yeah, no, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
No,
No.
no, I am stingy with my oxygen tank
Yeah.
because it's mine,
Yeah.
you know. So think about it that way too. It doesn't belong no matter what type it is. Like Charlie said, everyone has a home and it's just not where it's at, and that's okay.
Exactly.
But doesn't mean it's okay for it to stay around you, and it's not okay for you to uh have any kind of verbiage other than this is my home, my space, my
Yeah.
energy, my stuff, right?
Yeah.
Claim it.
Yeah.
If your words are anything of other than that, don't you fucking say it. And you better just
Yeah.
go
I
back and
know.
redo it.
I
Don't you fucking
know.
say it.
Yeah. Don't be like, oh, it's okay. You know,
When I got that call of, yeah, so hey, things are, uh, and I didn't go in and do anything first. I consulted, and then all the information, all the tools. Here's how easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here's how we do it. You don't even need me to go over there. Uh, and then they did that, and then I got a call. Hey, so stuff's worse. Oh yeah, what'd you say? What did you follow my instructions to the T? Well, this is what we did. We did blah 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 blah, and I was like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
very interesting. It's very interesting. I think that a lot of people are curious, right?
yeah, right.
And I think a lot of people, they'll look at practitioners and they'll go, well, I want to be accepting and I want to be understanding as well. And there's not clearly, like, I don't know why it's, what do they call that? It's like kept under wraps. What is the term I'm looking for?
Oh,
Gate kept? Is that what it's called?
gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, like gatekeeping. Yeah.
Yeah. So for some reason in the metaphysical community, and I don't know if it's because they don't want to make themselves look bad or they don't want to scare people. I don't know. They're whatever their reasons are. I totally disagree with that. I think if you understand, then you have a well-informed opportunity to make a decision, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
why are we not talking about this? Why are we not telling people about this? Because if you're like, oh, I feel, and this happened to me. There was a lady who said, I feel like it's a little boy. And it wasn't. It was like this, probably, I can't remember right offhand, but he was older. So I'm like going to say 60s, 70s. It was not a little boy, but that was her perception because she couldn't see or hear. It was like what she was feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and she was totally off base. Oh, well, it's okay if he stays. It's a little boy. And I'm like, "Dude, absolutely fucking not. It is not a little
Right.
boy. And like I see him, that is not a little boy, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's mistakes that can happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
even if it was a little boy, don't you want that little boy to reunite with his ancestors and loved ones
Right.
rather
Yeah.
than hang out and drain your energy, your
Right.
lifespan?
Mm-hmm.
They need they need to reconnect with
Mm-hmm.
source. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they need.
Right.
They haven't done it because they're scared. There's something holding them back, some sense of responsibility. So find a practitioner that will do it if you don't know how.
Right. Well,
So
see, the
yeah,
difference, I think the difference is, and my opinion of when people see practitioners and they want to be, you find this, right? That they want to be understanding,
yeah,
they want to be like that practitioner,
yeah,
but any, uh, I don't know how to say this nicely. Any solid practitioner is understanding and compassionate, but with very strict boundaries
Oh
and
yeah,
working elements.
absolutely.
So that's why we can be so compassionate and
Yeah.
understanding because uh fuck around and find out is the attitude
Yeah.
behind that.
Yeah.
You know,
I've also
and I
had
think that's the thing
cases.
they don't get.
Yeah.
So
I've had cases where they have called a medium in and made matters worse
yeah.
because they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, cool. You just injected them with a ton of energy because you're a medium and you had shitty boundaries. So you just
Mm-hmm.
gave them a ton of energy. They're
Right.
just having a freaking party right now. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, just do your vetting carefully. Make sure you have somebody that can do what they say they can do. And
Right. Right.
yeah.
And especially, I think right now too, those I gotta I also feel like we are in that time, and we've spoken about this before in detail in other episodes too when we talk about collective energy, but we're also in this time where if you have any sensitivity to energy, any abilities or anything of the sort,
Mhm.
um, every single one of you are coming online is what I like to say. So
Mhm.
you're being awoken. Your abilities are sparking,
Mhm.
and that's going to cause your sensitivity to increase, and you will perceive
Mhm.
things beyond that you have for whatever reason happened before, whether it's your shadow or you chose to shut it down or whatever the case, doesn't matter. But you're starting to perceive all of this now, and you get naturally curious or fearful, one of the two.
Mhm.
And being that we are in the spooky season, what is the one thing that most people like to jump and do? Start adding tools into their communication.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, if you don't have a foundation or boundaries and a good sense of what you're going to do, not saying any tool is negative, because I don't believe
No,
that.
I
I
don't
believe
believe
it's
that
the
either.
person, it's
Yeah.
operator error, not the tool. So,
Yeah.
if you are not a balanced operator and have everything in place, then obviously the tool is going to lead you into things you don't want to do, but you don't want to mess with. So keep that in mind too. It's nothing wrong with being curious, but we are curious beings by nature. We are bred for curiosity, but you want to go about it in the most safest and most empowered sense.
Hmm.
So, this is why we're sharing this knowledge with you guys. Knowledge is power. The
Yeah.
more you know, the more you grow, the more you realize you don't know. So, anything else you want to add on to this topic?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think we covered quite a bit on this topic for today's episode. So, thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you found this information helpful. I hope you walk away from this feeling a boost in your confidence and a boost in your power, and you're not crazy if you are experiencing these kinds of things. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Um, if you found this information helpful, or somebody who it will be helpful for, we always appreciate the energetic exchange of liking and sharing, subscribing to our channel, and turning the notifications on so you are alerted when we post new episodes. It's a new topic every time.
Yes.
And let us know if there's a topic that you haven't heard us talk about yet and you are curious about and want to hear us expand on more. Please reach out, comment, send us emails. I think our emails are in the bio page, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
They're somewhere.
I also have them posted during the
Oh,
broadcast
okay.
too.
So yeah, they pop up once you find us. So uh other than that, thank you for being with us, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.